There are many factors responsible for the collapse of most Ugandan businesses. Now, some of these factors are internal, while the others are external. We'll look at some of these factors and how they can be circumvented or overcome to build successful business empires.
Most businesses in Uganda start as sole proprietorships and many tend to come out as family businesses. Also true is that most of these Ugandan-bred businesses tend to have a short lifespan, hardly making 3 years in operation. Even those that shoulder on will not survive after the demise of the proprietor. Part of the problem, according to a PwC business owner study, is lack of competitiveness, which is always catalyzed by informal operations.
The ethical behavior of firms. And some of the firms say to us that there's actually a price for being compliant. Yeah? If you pay your taxes, if you follow the standards for doing business, your competition may actually not do that. So that puts you at a disadvantage and increases the costs of you doing business. So when we speak to businesses, they would mainly focus firstly on the external environment, and it's only natural for us to always look externally. But when you actually look internally, you find that the family factor is the other element that actually impedes competitiveness of family-owned businesses.
The key issues here is that a number of proprietors do not prepare and structure families to run and take over such enterprises. But externally, the business environment in Uganda is viewed by some to be independent in certain respects.
One of the elements that were identified as impeding competitiveness is the tax rate, a very high tax rate. Several taxes and a very high tax rate had to address that. Transparency in government policy making, another area of concern, a consultative approach, really encouraging the government to take a consultative approach in policy making. Ineffective market demand, again, that is a reflection of the high unemployment rate, which really impacts on the affordability of goods and services.
Another critical point of concern relates to the stringent conditions attached to financing local projects, especially the medium to large ones.
Every bank, even PTA itself, said, I can give you money for real estate, but I cannot give you for sugar factory. I said, why? Because the area you are in Atiak is where the massacre happened. When I went, I said, now, this is the problem of Africa. I went and knocked and they told me you can only borrow money for that area at 36%.
It's even worse when Ugandan-bred businesses try to take the private equity direction, which is the other funding source.
Now, an angel investor comes in, or a package, a PE comes in, they want approximately 20%. That's largely the hurdle rate in Uganda. They want to invest, most of them minimum $5 or $10 million. Most of them are $10 million. That means in 5 years' time they want to exit. Now, most businesses here, we build them because we want to pass on this business to your children, or you have a longer term view. Most private equity funds want 5 years to 8 years maximum they want to exit. So if they're getting a return of 20%, in 5 years they've put in $10 million, they want $20 million. It becomes a tall order how they exit. So they say either we're taking you to the market where you list, if you can list, then they make an exit, or we sell the business, because you'll sell the business, they'll cash in. But then you're out of the game because you couldn't pay the $20 million to them. So that's where the catch comes. And I warn many people that go in with your eyes wide open, get as much advice as possible.
So how can family businesses or Uganda-owned businesses ride these tough waves with all these odds against them?
Resilience. The other factors that people don't see that keep you going to make you really resilient and adaptable and able to be flexible, agility. Some of the things that are not probably emphasized enough in school when they are training, and you get only when you are in an environment. And then our environment, like the Uganda environment, is very different from the environment in the United States or Europe and most of the countries where we send our kids to study.
The other critical aspect is build good corporate governance structures that have been tested in the world of business. A company board, for instance.
I think it starts from the selection of the board itself. If you look at the Kakira board, is a very, very strong board. The people who are there as a non-executive directors, they have no fear, they have no hesitation, they have no way, they listen only to the managing director. They have their own independent views, they take their own decision. And I mentioned about this audit committee also. It's such a powerful audit committee.
Doing businesses successfully has never been easy anywhere. The few who manage to succeed in the developed world have to adhere to particular principles.